Oh, welcome to an Eventing Manager launch show, because we are building up to Aachen Digital Champion of Champions. And of course, we are getting you guys at home. Well, we hope we're getting you guys at home to play along with Eventing Manager as well. And the market is now open. I feel like I should do jazz hands. I am delighted to be joined this evening by two of my favorite gentlemen in the sport of eventing. I'm going to start by saying hello, John Kyle.
Hello, Nicole. I don't think it's true that we're your favorite people, because literally just before air, you did quite a lot of herding cats, and we have not behaved ourselves at all, and we have not chosen our teams as you instructed us to. So we're in big trouble.
No, they were literally. You wanted us to pick our teams. I'm not ready to pick my team. I was like, well, you're going to be ready in about 10 minutes time. Sam, how are you?
I am trying to keep my eyes up whilst looking down at my Eventing Manager app, trying to pick my team. It's so the problem with this field is it is so good that when you go into the app and you start trying to pick your team and look at you literally can't take your eyes off it. That this is proper studying. I think there's about 12 5-star winners in there. I mean, I'm not a statistician or a form guy or a numbers guy or anything, so I mean, don't ask me for facts, but it's an incredible field. And it's great fun. And yeah, I just want to be looking at my app all the time, looking at my phone, but don't look at the screen.
Look at the screen, look up, make eye contact. Well, let's just explain to you, if you haven't heard what Aachen Digital Champion of Champions is, then it is essentially one of the best fields ever assembled that have been to Aachen previously, going up against one another for the title Champion of Champions. So we have got horses all the way back from 2006. So Zara Tindall, Toy Town are in the field up against, say, Le Biestatique Sam from 2011 with Michael Young, the year before he won his first Olympic title, all the way through to Hale Bob and Ingrid Klimke when they won in 2019. So Sam, it is a snapshot in time, isn't it? It is taking the data of the performances at that moment in time, putting them all into the computer and saying, what would happen if they could go up against each other?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you think of the major champions that we've had in the sport, and obviously Le Biestatique Sam, as you mentioned, he covers a lot of those. He was our 2010 WEG champion, and then he did the double of the Olympics in 2012 and 2016. In the middle of that major dominance, championship dominance, you had Upgon Lubo with Sandra Ofarth. They're in here. They've been first, second, third, and fourth at Aachen. What an incredible record they've had. But then we go further back in time, which is the really cool thing about this. And we've got Marius and Henrik Romica. They're in the team. They're the Olympic champions from 2008. Many people might have forgotten that they were the champs. And then where it all began for top level eventing at Aachen, at what we call the home of champions, and certainly the top pinnacle short format event that there is, and that exciting Nations Cup that they have there as well. But it started with Zara Tindall and Toy Town, and she's in the field. It's just incredible.
It's so much fun. It's like the dream of eventing, putting all these amazing combinations together. John, we've mentioned Eventing Manager already. We have run a couple of competitions so far this year. Obviously, we would love to be doing it on real life eventing, but for anybody that hasn't played along, what is it and how can they get involved?
Well, for a start, just search for Eventing Manager in any of the app stores, the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and download it. And then just play around with it. You've got, gosh, I think the market is open now until early August. So you've got a lot of time to play around and finalize your teams here. You've got 10 million fictional dollars, and we have provided a market, which we'll talk about in a moment, based on these snapshot in time form. For instance, Air Jordan and Frankie Osthold, they won it twice. They won 2007, 2008. We're taking his, as you see, and you'll see in the app, his 2008 stats running up to that performance in this Champion of Champions. We've got Stefano Brecciaroli and Apollo van der Vendi Kerthover. Just
best
like
name ever.
With his
we just like
stuff.
saying his name, to be honest.
Yeah. But once you've chosen your four, then you will go into a league based on where you're from. Automatically, but you can set up a league also with your family, with your yard, with any group you want, and those leagues are super competitive as well. And the best 5 scores in your league go into their own competition. There's only 5 in our league in our place, so we've all really got to pull our weight. So there's a lot of pressure on me tonight to pick my team, but it is, as Sam was saying, it is incredibly user friendly. There's an autofill option to give you a start for picking your team. I'm going to talk about my autofill that I got given earlier on, because it really has formed the basis of my picks for tonight. It was a great starting point. And there's all that data, the 6-run average, the speed metric for cross country, the likelihood over the last 10 rounds of them picking up show jumping faults. It's all in there. It's all to be analyzed. And when you're looking at a field like this, of these 30, there's so little to choose between them. Making the market, putting those price values on them for that sort of fantasy eventing concept must have been nigh on impossible, except that just like we have for the simulation, we've got a supercomputer to do it.
And the supercomputer is absolutely ruthless, because what will happen when these combinations go up against each other, the 7th and the 8th of August, all of the action will be live on Facebook, on clipmyhorse.tv, on the official Aachen channels as well. And we'll be bringing you the live dressage and the live jumping on the Friday for the dressage. Then the Saturday will be the jumping phases. And we won't know the results until the computer tells us, and you will find out live with us who will be crowned Aachen Champion of Champions. It is going to be absolutely brilliant. John, you mentioned there playing along in leagues. Now, the overall winner this weekend, of the weekend of Aachen Champion of Champions, I should say, if you win overall, then you could be going to Aachen 2021. There are tickets on offer and a lot of very special surprises as well. And there are lots of leagues being put on by brands. There's going to be some really special prizes. I've already had a sneaky peek at what Voltaire are going to be putting up, and I think you should stay tuned for that one. But let's get into it. Let's start to decide our teams. Now, John and Sam, you both admitted you hadn't picked your teams. So do either of you want to volunteer to go first, or shall I do the honours?
Oh, ladies first. Chivalry. Yeah, on you go.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it could mean that we then don't hear from you for about 40 minutes, Nicole, because your 4 will be locked in, and Sam and I will be talking then for the rest of the night.
Oh, now are we doing a draft between us?
Well, we could do a draft between us, but then
that'll make it too complicated.
That would definitely mess with the plans of who's picking who.
Talk us through your first pick.
Okay, first pick for me, I have gone for the double Olympic champion and his Aachen win in 2011. Big money. I have gone big money. I've been bold, and I am spending $4.2 million on Michael Young's Le Biestatique Sam. He has the most incredible Aachen form. He's been there 6 times. He's been in the top 3 5 times, and the other placing was a 6th. So he's been there 6 times. He's not been out of the top 6. But this year is the one that he won in 2011. The year that he took his European title as well. And the year before that, he won his World Championship title. So he was obviously in incredible form. Big dent in the wallet, but I think he's worth it. Michael Young, Le Biestatique Sam, I think he's going to be popular if that price tag doesn't take him off. That
tells me 2 things.
I have no money left.
You have no money left, and that you're probably picking Tim Lipsch.
Just because Tim is only in for an absolute bargain of £1 million. We'll see. Sam, do you want to go for your first pick?
Yeah, it's interesting, Nicole. I nearly fell into the trap, actually, of not paying attention to the year of these horses, because what I was going to say is that I actually think that Sam is a good pick here, because he's such a reliable cross-country horse. When you look at the other on joint top prices there, Hail Bob, SAP Hail Bob, they have 7 Aachen appearances and 2 20 penalties, and they do have the odd 20 penalties. So how the simulation is going to work is that the computer gives them a clear likelihood. Now, it's still going to be very high for Ingrid, but it's probably going to be in and around that 75-80% level. How the simulation works is it'll generate a random number, and if that random number is below the 80% threshold, Ingrid gets her clear, and if it's above it, that's where your cross-country penalty comes in. So that is why, because all of these horses are more likely than not to jump clear, but it would be boring if we did the most likely option. Now, Sam, I was thinking, when you look at his career, that he's going to be up in the 95%, so likely to jump that clear round. But actually back in 2011, still would have never have had a cross-country fault, still had a couple of 5 stars under his belt, for sure. So he's still probably one of the most reliable horses in the field. So it's not a bad spend to get high likelihood.
an opposition beaten percentage of 96% in 2011 when this is taken.
Sure, so does Chipmunk.
Chipmunk does. But that's why I'm justifying it to myself. Don't get cold feet about spending the big bucks early on.
Anyway, well, I am going for a horse who is absolutely at the peak of their powers. As I said, they have top four finishes at Aachen, and I'm spending big as well, but I'm going for Upgun Luvo. Again, I think they bring that reliability and that low score to the table. Obviously, I'm going to have to shop around a little bit after that, but I do think that there is some value, particularly in and around that kind of sub 2.5 million mark. So they're probably going to be my one pick from the top half of the table. But Upgun Luvo and Sandra, I really like them. They've been world champions. They have really solid Aachen form. And I think they're going to put a good score on the board for me.
Yeah, very good pick. John, how about you?
So I told you I started this whole process from an auto pick that gave me Laura Collett, Chris Burton, Clayton Fredericks, Janelle Price. And I thought, God, that's not bad.
It's okay, isn't it?
Over. And then just like Sam, you start then looking into those forms. And again, it's so easy to just be lured into thinking, oh, Janelle Price, classic mode, they're brilliant. Or Fairy Dianamo, they're brilliant. Actually, it's this moment in time. It's 2015. Are they worth 3.2 million of my imaginary dollars? So, I mean, also, you've got to buy one of those big Germans. You've got to buy one of those top five there, Olympic medals amongst them. So I looked from Hinny upwards at 3.4 million, and I thought that the best value on offer there was Julia and Chipmunk, the 2018. I like a winner. They were the winners that year. 96% was the beaten. They're one of the best 6 RAs in the field. They might have a pole. They might have a couple of seconds on the thing. So they're maybe not going to FOD in the simulation, but they are going to finish close to a very, very low dressage score.
Yeah, and actually you would expect her to be one of the leaders after that first phase, very much so. When she won in 2018, she was actually the last out on course as the leader after the first 2 phases, and had jumped clear in the show jumping on that occasion as well. Just snuck ahead of Chris Burton, who is quite difficult, isn't it? Because you think of all these top names like Michael Young, Chris Burton, Janelle Price, they've taken numerous different horses to Aachen, and we are just having to pick one of them. So Chris Burton, for example, Holstein Park Leilani, and he is coming up on the podcast in the next few weeks, and we'll be talking about how special that mare's victory was. So listen out for that. Sam, oh no, it's my turn next, isn't it? I have to remember who should I put up next? Okay, so my next pick, I was torn. I had 2 horses in mind. I was again I'd kind of backed myself into a bit of a corner by my first big spend. I was basically torn between Shane Rose and CP qualified, Tim Price and Wesco. Tim's 4th place finish in 2019. I think he did a personal best in the dressage with the horse there as well on that occasion. But Shane Rose, CP qualified, have been on the podium at Aachen a couple of times. Same amount of money, 2.7. I went for Tim Price, Wesco. My heart said go for Dash. So he is my second pick. And I really have no money left now.
Even though we know the computer likes Shane Rose.
Oh, don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. Yes, Shane Rose has won a simulated competition before.
Look at her. She's she's falling for it. It's so easy to knock her off course.
I know. I'm so easily influenced. Oh.
My second one is, I'm not going in price order here. I'm going, I think this was a standout, and I expect him to be one of the most popular picks. And actually, listeners, do let us know who you think will be, who's the best value. And that's really going to answer the question, is who do you think will be the most popular picks? Who are we going to see most in the teams? We'll release that probably after the competition, to be honest, because we expect people to be chopping and changing and doing all that sort of stuff on the lead up. But I think one of the popular picks is going to be Andrew Nicholson and Nereo. Again, I know we're rewinding back to 2010, but this combination have won Aachen, and they've obviously went on to do so much more in the sport as well. But I just can't. This is where Stats Sam and Analytical Sam, this is all about fun. This is all about enjoyment. And part of the fun of this is is being able to look at your phone and go, that's my team. And to have Andrew Nicholson there and Nereo on the team, I don't even know what position. I'd probably put him out as Pathfinder. He might get annoyed with me because he might not get as good a dressage mark though for that. So Andrew, I tell you what, why don't you help me do the team order? We'll sit down after this and we'll go through it, but you're on my
team. John?
So it's not easy, is it? So what, you've gone for Berto. So you're all about the big money.
I went for Tim Price.
Ah, yes.
I just gave Berto an honourable mention. That was all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to know. I mean, I then, having had my autofill, I went and looked at the 6RAs I could afford. And so Chipmunk, who I've chosen, is best 6RA. Laura Collett's got a great 6RA. Hoy Boy and Cheeky Kalimbo and Funtime Frankie Ostholt as well. So having thought about that and having looked at the price, I, at this stage, chose the two-time winner. The first time it was run as short in 2007 and 2008. Frank Ostholt and Air Jordan 2 were the winners. So I have spent 1.9 million on him.
He's good value.
Yeah.
I think he's really good value.
He's got a great 6RA. He's one of the top 6RAs, but he is likely to have a poll on stats.
Okay, that could be really interesting. So he is one of only 2 horses to have ever won 2 Aachen titles, the other being Hail Bob and Ingrid Klimke, who won in 17 and 19. I think that's a really good shout, to be honest. Bit of the forgotten horse. He's got great Aachen form. Okay, my next pick, we're on teams of 4, getting confused. My next pick is... I thought this combination were great value, and then I had to sort of remind myself that actually it is a snapshot in time, and so it's 2017, but I'm going to stick by them. I'm going Alex Bragg and Zagreb, 1.6 million. And the reason I think I was really, I suppose, influenced by their recent form and how fast they've been in cross country in recent events, but actually I went back and looked at their Aachen performance. I think they were only a couple of seconds over the time. They were 8th in 2017. Couple of seconds over the time cross country and picked up a time for it in the show jumping. But you've got to finish as close to your dressage score as possible. So I'm going to stick with him. I'm pleased with that. I think he was good value. I only have 1.5 million left, but I'm happy with my team so far.
Interesting tactics. I like John talking about that 6-run average, that 6RA, because that's the average of your last 6 dressage scores. And if you are really going for glory, the way the sport is set up is that there's variance around the dressage score, but there's not as much as, suddenly what can happen in the show jumping and the cross country. It can just all completely unravel. So if you're really going for glory and you actually literally want to win Eventing Manager and beat I don't know how many players are going to have, 5,000, 10,000, however many we're going to have. You're
10,000. If we make it to 10,000, we'll all be literally doing cartwheels.
Oh, we can do it. Like and share and get everyone talking about eventing. Come on, there's not enough of this quality sport going on, virtual or no virtual. This is top notch. Now I just have to beat my family. That is my that's my kind of passion at the moment. We've had some battles in the Eventing Managers, so I'm looking for revenge. There's only 10 of us in the league, so I'm going for consistency. And I think right from the bottom of the market, the one I like is King Artus and Dirk Schrader. They were part of that team in London in 2012, which I know comes after this. But again, just I think a combination that can deliver the goods for me. Not the best 6-run average. They're averaging a 30, which is 70%. Pretty good by my standards, but not so good by some of the others. But I think they're going to be a good team player for me. It is a tough choice because Rayef and Cheeky Kalimbo, so Laura Collett and Andrew Hoy, they are right up there with 2 of the best 6-run averages in the field, and they are cheap money. And so if it's all about tactics. If I was going gambly, I'd be looking at them, but I'm not. I'm going for a safer option, so I'm going for Dirk.
Okay. You're going for Dirk.
And I just want to beat you two as well. And then I'm just going to be willing your chancy ones to run past a virtual fence.
A virtual fence. Okay, John, third pick for you.
Third pick for me. So I'm going back into the slightly more expensive bit of the field now to spend a little bit of money. And it is impossible. Because when you go on to the fourth one, when it comes down to the final two in this section of my choice, I was left with 1.5 million. And I would have really liked Alex Bragg in Zagreb, who's 1.6 million. It is the most frustrating thing. And I thought I'd done a brilliant thing and swapped one for another because I thought, Hart, I'll choose him. And then I looked at the stats and was like, oh, no, this is a much better pick. They are identical price. Drat. But I mean, in this middle section, like, Caroline Powell, Lenamore, Mark Todd, Leo, Shane Rose, CP qualified. And I have to say, this is, for me, came down to Shane and Tim, CP qualified in Wesco, both there at 2.7 million, which means I'm not, choosing Zara or Tina, which is, really tough because, they do so well. But just the money, the stats, God, who would be?
It's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard.
So if you're going between Shane Rose and Tim Price, follow Head or Hart, because Tim Price and Wesco's stats are better at that moment in time than Shane and CP qualified for the same money. So Nicole chose for Hart, I chose for Head, and we're both on the same horse.
Okay, so you've gone Tim Price and Wesco. That's a good. So your three so far are Chipmunk, Air Jordan, and Wesco. How much money have you got left for your final pick?
1.5 mil. So
okay. Narrows it down slightly.
Yeah.
Narrows it down. They're down to 4. Okay, well, I have 1.5 mil left. And I am going to say that I am going for Laura Collett and Reyes, who put in that incredible performance in 2012. I think you've already mentioned that their 6-run average is one of the best in the field. 24.6 is their 6R8, which is better than that of Labir Satiq Sam and Michael Young. He's generally a very good show jumper. He was in very good form, and he could well be up there with the dressage leaders. So I'm going to be rooting for Laura. I think he's very good value at 1.4 million. And I have £100,000 left in change. If only it was real.
We'll put the check in the post, Nicole.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. So my official full team would be Labir Satiq Sam, Wesco, Zagreb, and Reyes. They are my 4. Come on, team. Do not let me down. I'm rooting for you. But God, it's so hard. I keep seeing names. I keep seeing all these different names pop up and think, oh God, I should have gone for them. And oh dear.
I think you can click on other people's teams, can't you? Can you do that before we go live? I'll have to check that with the team. But you can definitely when we're live, you can. So I can see which way my family are going and take them on.
I think it's when it's live.
Because okay, I'm gonna have to wait. That is clever.
You can't just copy Sparkle's team.
Yeah. We'll have to. Yeah, I'll do some kind of hypnotism or something. Get her to tell me in her sleep. I think I've gone too consistent and reliable here. I've got 2.8 million left. There's 4 combinations in the field on 2.8 million. 2 huge British fan favorites. One, an individual world champion. Another, an individual Olympic bronze medalist. That's Tina Cook and Miners Frolic, the Olympics. I've put Zara in. I've gone for Zara, but I'm even debating. I love the sense that JK is speaking about Wesco as well. His stats are good, but I have gone for Toy Town. I just like the idea of Dirk being my pathfinder, having 2 world champions in my team, so Upgun, Luvo, and Toy Town, and then having Nicholson and Areo as well. As I say, he'll decide where he wants to go in my team, what position he wants to be.
We'll have a word.
We'll have a chat about that. But I've gone for Zara and Toy Town.
Okay, pretty good team. Just to clarify, Sam, you're not going to have to hypnotize Sparks, because you can see the teams in your private league, just not in the main public league. So you'll be all right. Okay, so Sam, you have picked your team. John, Kyle, that leaves you with 1 space remaining in your team. Who are you going to go for?
Well, now, as well as Alex Bragg and Zagreb, another one that I missed out on choosing, who I think has got great stats for the money, is Hannah Sue and Demi for the United States. 1.9 mil for her. If I'd had the money,
the budget is hard.
This is just.
It's so you think you're just going to have enough, and then you don't.
I'm assuming Sam chose his 4 and then set the market. Because I didn't see how you could have, Toy Town, Nereo, and Opgun Luvo, but suddenly
you'll have people doubting. Sean Murray is our market man.
To be fair, that wouldn't get past Sean Murray. No. The EquiRatings team would take him out.
Toy Town for the short format.
I don't know. Yeah, well, show jumping before. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I'd stop putting doubt in my mind.
Ooh.
It's going to change. I dare you not to pick your team tonight, and I dare you not to change it before.
We're not allowed.
Before the 7th of August.
We're not allowed now. Us 3, we are locked in.
All right. Well, I'm creating a new email address and using it.
Right.
Go on, John. Who is your last pick?
So it's Hoi Boy and Cheeky Kalimbo. He has not got the strongest form, but he's a fighter, isn't he, Hoi Boy? So I've put a million into Australian futures, and I think therefore I've got $500,000 left over, which says I've probably chosen quite badly. But so Chipmunk, Air Jordan, Wesco, and Cheeky Kalimbo.
It's a good team.
It's a good team. I would say Cheeky Kalimbo on his day is very, very good. He just lives up to his name, and cheeky by name, cheeky by nature. He can be
But just I'm just throwing it all into that 6RA really, where Laura is just as strong with Ray F, but I just I'm gonna go with the experience of Andrew Hoy.
Andrew Hoy, fair enough. Let's remind ourselves of our teams then. So we've just heard from John, Julia Krajewski, Chipmunk, Air Jordan, Frank Ossolt, Wesco Tim Price, Andrew Hoy, Cheeky Kalimbo. Sam's team, Sandra Orforth and Opgun Luvo, Nereo, Andrew Nicholson, King Artis, Dirk Schrader, Zara Tyndall and Toy Town. Very good team. I mean, Nereo and Opgun Luvo on a team together would just be insane.
It might be he'll be the only one of us with 3 winners on his team.
Yeah. Very impressive. I've gone for Labia Sadiq Sam, his 2011 results, Tim Price and Wesco, same as John, Zagreb and Alex Bragg and Laura Collett, Ray F. Do not let me down, team. I will be backing you all the way. But they are our teams. Who are you guys going to be picking at home? We want you to get involved. Go into your app store, go into Google Play, download Eventing Manager for free, and make sure you pick your teams. You can get the computer to do it for you. You can get your mum to do it for you if you like. Get your mum to play along. But you can look at all these simple metrics, and you could be in with a chance of winning tickets to Aachen 2021. It is going to be absolutely brilliant. John, Sam, thank you both very, very much, because this is going to be quite the ride for the next 4 weeks. Sam, there is a target. 5,000 teams is the aim. We're putting it out there, and we need people to get behind us and to play along.
Yeah, hopefully. I think we've just done something pretty incredible as well. I think that we have we're going to get the public to be sympathetic towards performance managers and selectors for the first time ever. Because usually when those championship teams come out, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone says there was a shocking decision out there. But now we all have to make those decisions. We are all eventing managers. It's fantastic. Look, guys, this is all about fun. Get everyone involved. It's really just teeing us up and setting us up for when we get back on track. But to put this on, thank you so much to Aachen for going along with this idea. And actually, the whole Aachen Digital is going to be an incredible weekend. So do tune in for everything. Thank you to SAP for the support on this, and you guys and everyone as well. So thank you, and share the love, everyone. Let's see how we go with Eventing Manager.
Share the love. It is going to be so much fun over the next few weeks. We hope you'll get involved, play along, get your friends, get your family, get people you work with down at the yard, get them all to download it, go up against them, compete for some brilliant prizes, and have plenty of fun while you do it. We have got so much brilliant Aachen content coming for you over the next few weeks. We've got a very special show with Ingrid Klimke out next week. Chris Burton will be on the podcast. There's a few more special surprise guests, and there will be a couple more live shows as well. So do stay tuned across the EquiRatings Facebook channels, on Instagram, and go and follow CHIO Aachen as well to stay up to date with all of the latest news. John, thank you. Sam, thank you. Thank
Nicole,
you,
1
guys.
minute.
Yeah.
We Dermot Byrne will be back. He's absolutely fuming that no one has picked SAP Hail Bob. He will be back. He's on paternity leave. Thankfully, Rosa Byrne is home. So congratulations to him and Denise. But yeah, we will have Darren back, and I'm sure there will be far more SAP Hail Bob talk as well coming up. So yeah, I'm just looking at the public comments. He's going absolutely mad.
Yeah.
He will be raging that nobody has picked SAP Hail Bob. But don't worry, Dan, we'll get you to pick your team before Aachen Digital Champion of Champions. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for listening. This show will be out as a podcast as well. So if you're listening in, then we hope you've enjoyed it, and you can go and find the full market in the Eventing Manager app. John, Sam, thank you very much. And we'll be back very soon. But for now, we'll see you soon.